So, has Anthony Joshua lost his confidence? Has he lost the will to win? Has he lost his balls and all this other phraseology and accusations that's been thrown at him? So we've done a non-verbal psychological evaluation analysis of the press conference the day when him and Dillian Whyte come face to face, and we're going to be looking at why this
stoppage. I know you're not massive on predictions, but
and the infamous rant that Anthony Joshua done against Usyk.
I'm not a 12-round fighter.
Could be all you need to understand what's truly, really, authentically going on in the head of Anthony Joshua.
Stoppage. I know you're not massive on predictions, but
yeah, so it's been a while since I've done a video. Nothing really piqued my interest. Nothing's going on where I got excited about it, all right? But the fight game does. And when Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte collide, that's something that does get us excited. It's something that should get all fight fans excited. And remember, here on the Believe in Bruce channel, what we're going to try and do is give you information that you can see, that you can utilise for your own tips, tricks and tools and techniques that can help you with your own mental game, as well as you trying to win any competition that you're in or have won over any type of competitor that you come up against. And remember, if you're new to the channel, subscribe below, give it a thumbs up and comment, as you know, for the algorithm. I'm going to be explaining why AJ versus Whyte is all cerebral. Forget about the physical side, all right? Forget about the physical side. This fight, undoubtedly will be won on who's got the strongest mind. Not necessarily when it's calm, but when you needed composure. When you need to be able to think and react in those what we call critical moments in performance psychology. All right, when you're under stress, when you're under pressure, can you be the eye in the storm rather than the storm? The eye of the storm always dissipates last. It's the person who can remember, who can actually become aware, consciously aware, of how to react correctly in those moments that's more likely to win this fight. I'm going to be explaining later on in the video, so hang around for it. The one thing that gives me a great understanding of the Anthony Joshua that's going to turn up on fight night. And it's something that you can use for your own skill set in any environment as well. Whether it be in home life, work life, in the gym, in competition, whatever it may be, you truly can learn from something that Anthony Joshua offers, positively or negatively, but you've got to grab it with both hands. Stay tuned to find out what that is. Now, something I want you to become aware of is obviously when you've got Anthony Joshua with Dillian Whyte, yeah, there's intent there. It's personal. It's more than a boxing fight. And Anthony Joshua actually offers something later on in the press conference where, you know, Dillian Whyte's not a rival. He absolutely is. Yeah, he absolutely is. And what AJ is really doing here is trying to balance it out, where I want to keep calm, I want to keep focused, I want to focus on the attributes that are more likely for me to win the fight, and that's great. But these two have got a history. You can't, you know, delete that. You can't erase that. So once you've thought about it and you're aware of something, it is in there. It is in your psyche, all right? And that's what makes it interesting, especially where these two fighters are. Dillian Whyte offers something further into the press conference that gives a real clue as to what he's prepared to do, where he sees himself on his boxing journey, as well as AJ doing exactly the same. And because they're at so different positions about what they do next, that's what makes the fight so explosive. That's what makes the fight so interesting. That's what makes the fight so different from a normal boxing fight where potentially average, normal, procedural tactics won't be applied, all right? Won't be applied, especially in times of critical stress. The best analogy I can give this is imagine you go into a burning building and everybody's screaming and crying and trying to get out here, and then you've got the fireman or the fire person, yeah? The fire person walks into the building and they look around. They're trained to be calm. Everybody else is losing their head, but they're looking for the danger, they're risk assessing, they're looking for where do I need to go, yeah? How can I deploy my resources? So in the storm, you've got that calm, centered approach. That allows you to be the best version of you. That allows your performance to be enhanced. All right? That's the bit that I'm really looking for to see out of the two of them. Who's got that cerebral calmness, specifically under stress and duress? That's where this fight's going to be won or lost. But the mental game, you need to listen to how you speak to yourself because you are listening. How you talk to yourself is so important. So when I work with the clients, my corporate clients, athletes as well, it all starts with that inner voice control. How you talk to yourself is everything, because everything that comes after that is what you're trying to improve. And this is where the body language comes in. Now, what's really interesting in this first example is when we've got a baseline behaviour, all right, and we've got loads of press conference with Dillian Whyte and also AJ as well, is that we understand their baseline behaviours. Now, AJ's changes here, all right? AJ is usually quite formal, he's quite stoic, he looks to the front. Yeah, what we've got here is when Dillian Whyte starts to speak, you see AJ leaning back and looking towards him. Now, we know that eye contact is the most powerful, or one of the most powerful triggers and activators within the animal kingdom, yeah? You try it when you walk down the street, you might be looking at somebody, they look at you, chances are you look away. It's a threat, it's a challenge, that's what it generally is, all right? At least in most situations. Maybe it's a bit different if you're in a nightclub and you see somebody you fancy, all right? But walking down the street, it's generally a bit weird and you look away. If you tend to keep eye contact with somebody, especially if you know, if you're not attracted to them, it's just a general, you know, you might be looking at a man or a woman or whatever it may be, most of us will look away. So what we see here is AJ looking back and looking along. He usually doesn't do that, all right? That's what's interesting here. He usually doesn't do that. And then we've got a second example where we can lock this in and say absolutely there's a change in his baseline behaviour. When Dillian Whyte's talking again he leans back and he has a little look along. Now, you can look at most press conferences that AJ has been in the past, and from the off, that's not something that he does. He tends to be respectful, he's very controlled, he sort of listens to what the other person's saying. But here we've got a change in behaviour, and what is that change in behaviour? Is it present because, you know, you've got the Wilder fight, he's coming back from the Franklin, obviously the 2 Usyk losses, etc. There might be pressure building up on him, or he's putting pressure on himself. I don't know. Is it because he wants to, is it because of Whyte himself, you know, that sort of history that they've got there? I don't know, but what I do know, that cannot be denied, is that his baseline shifts and he's actually eye to eye, or he's trying to engage Dillian Whyte. That's great from a fight perspective. That's great from a confidence level. The fact that you're looking at somebody when they're talking, you don't usually do that. All right? That for me is exciting. Now, when I was talking about Dillian Whyte previously, especially on Instagram, is that Dillian Whyte he's in a position where he's never going to get this opportunity again. Okay, he's wanted the AJ rematch. He's got it now. Okay, he's had 3 losses himself. He's prepared to roll the dice. Is Dillian Whyte an elite fighter? Probably, you know, buffering that zone would be fair and accurate. I believe that AJ has more to go for after this fight if he wins than Dillian Whyte. I do believe that. AJ's the character, he's the big draw. Whyte's a great boxer. He hasn't got that pizzazz, he hasn't got that draw, he hasn't got that cloud of energy around him that AJ brings. And because he's prepared to throw it all here, and he actually says something later on, yeah, where he is prepared to give it all. And he even says that with the words that he's using, okay?
Whether it's still there or not, I don't really care. You know, I mean, I'm coming to fight and I ain't got nothing to lose, so I'm all good.
I ain't got nothing to lose. You need to listen. I'm going to be discussing AJ's infamous rant after the Usyk 2 fight, all right? If you listen to the words that you're saying, there's the key for understanding yourself. When Dillian Whyte says, I ain't got nothing to lose,
whether it's still there or not, I don't really care. You know, I mean, I'm coming to fight and I ain't got nothing to lose, so I'm all good.
That's what he absolutely means. That's what he's thinking. That's why he said it. And somebody who's prepared to throw it all down is very different from someone who's preparing for the next thing. Right? And Dillian Whyte offers this twice within the press conference. But listen to this, I ain't got nothing to lose. It's a real trigger for we could be getting a very different version of Dillian Whyte who's prepared to roll everything, prepared to roll all the dices on his last chance saloon, because really it's not about a world title. He just wants to beat AJ. And then there's a bit of a challenge. All right? I'll have to mind my language here. There's a bit of a jokey banter going backwards and forwards about how committed, you know, Dillian Whyte is, and does he see himself winning the fight, and has he still got the dog inside him? And he says, you know, F around and find out. You know, F around it, I'm calm, I'm composed, but if you want to find out if the dog's still there, you know, just sort of give us a bit of a poke and we'll see. Yeah, so he's triggered straight away. And then you see AJ in a little bit sort of raising his hands like this. Now, up until that point there, AJ's been, again, calm, stoic, looking forward, respectful. Yeah, he's been leaning sort of backwards and having a look. But he hasn't really done anything. Remember, the body will show you how that person's feeling. Yeah, try it at home. When you're uncomfortable, you'll generally cross your arms, you'll give yourself a self-soothe. What we see is AJ here, and you listen to the breath, you can actually hear the exhalation, so that means he's taking a big breath in.
Stoppage, I know you're not massive on predictions, but both of you guys have had stuff to say about the other one.
And then breathe out. When you breathe in, okay, you're priming yourself for some type of exertion, for some type of, output where you need to be present. And also when you're stretching yourself off like this, right, what AJ is doing is he's absolutely showing his ventral area. Bit like a soccer hooligan. Come on then, I'll have you. There's no fear there at that particular moment. That's why he's doing this. That's why it's up there. Dillian Whyte's saying F around and find out. AJ's had a little chat with himself. He doesn't like that challenge. He doesn't like that thought, and how that presents itself as, all right, I'll show you. Yeah, let's have it. Because he's exposing all these vital organs here, this should be answering some questions about, his lack of confidence, or he's not prepared for it, or he's lost that will to win. No. AJ is absolutely confident in the presence of Dillian Whyte, to the point where he shows all these vital organs in a way that, actually, I'm getting ready for a fight now. He says something on later on the press conference, I'm actually ready to go now. He is ready to go now, and that's what his body showed.
Stoppage, I know you're not massive on predictions, but both of you guys have had stuff to say about the other one.
And we know that this landed with AJ, that he's actually, played it in his mind. Because there's a little bit of a joke going backwards and forwards where Eddie Hearn didn't visit Dillian Whyte out in Florida, but he did AJ, and, he's going to Mexico, whatever it is. And you hear AJ almost antagonising Dillian Whyte by saying, F around. So he repeats what Dillian Whyte said. Dillian Whyte says something along the lines of, come on, we're all lions, or something like, just sort of chill out, bro. And you hear Anthony Joshua saying, trust me, this is a direct challenge, like me mocking you, repeating the words that you've said, and then me trying to stamp you down. Trust me, I know what I'm saying. I know exactly what I'm saying. If anything, this is not a lack of confidence from Anthony Joshua. This is an exhibition of, I'm well comfortable within my skin here, at least in the press conference situation. That's got to be a good thing.
Go on.
What does AJ's balls taste like?
You might find out.
Fuck around and find out.
I think you'll be teabagging you in the
Fuck around and find out.
Get your own lines, bro. Come on, man. Get your own lines. Relax, bro. Relax. Get your own lines, man.
And that's really important, when I talk about, most of you know that I do corporate training and seminars where I get brought into large organisations. We call it the Think, Feel, Act programme. Cognitive thoughts control hormonal reactions, feelings, and those two things together combine the physical output. If you control your thoughts and your feelings, your physical performance is going to be better. Again, if anyone wants us to book us for a seminar, just drop a message in below or contact us at huddleculture.com. Now, what we've got here with Anthony Joshua is certain observable behaviours that Anthony Joshua's confidence is indeed increasing. Or more so from one of his previous experiences, especially with the two losses to Alexander Usyk. And this is the one thing that I want you to take away. Or not necessarily one thing I want you to take away. But AJ explains, he orates, he narrates, he offers something really important that we could all benefit from. Is that I'm not really bothered what anybody else says. I know where I'm going. I know what I need to do, and all the rest is irrelevant. Something along those lines. Now, a high-performing person cares less about what other people say. You've got to be able to practice this. So, like, giving a shit or not giving a shit doesn't come naturally. You have to practice it daily, not giving a shit what other people think. And I've got various tools and techniques that I deploy with the corporate clients as well as my athletes about helping them to quell that inner voice, to give less of a shit about what other people say if it's not great for their performance levels. Performance is king. Performance is the only thing that matters. Whatever it is that gets you in your sweet spot, that's what you've got to do. And that's what we could learn from what Anthony Joshua says here. Like, just focus on yourself. Focus on what helps you be the best version of you. And do that again and again and again. And screw anybody else's opinion that doesn't help your performance be enhanced. That's something that we could all learn from.
Like, so with Dillian, I don't really look at him as a rival. I just watch myself. I'm worrying about my lane and what I'm trying to do. So with Jermaine Franklin, yeah, I was definitely up for that fight, 100%. But it was respect to Franklin. I made it as easy as I wanted to. I could have made it as difficult as I wanted to. Coming off those losses, get the W, 7-week training camp, boom, bam, we're here now, ready to rock and roll. Like, so I understand my process, and that's why I worry about myself, not what everyone else's opinion is. I know what I've got to do.
And this bit I really love, okay? I've always thought Anthony Joshua will fight anybody. He must be a nightmare for 258 management. I've always said to anybody who's asked me about Anthony Joshua, one of the brilliant things, the positive things that I love about Anthony Joshua is I get the feeling he will fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. And we've seen it in the heavyweight division. All the excuses coming out, oh, I'm not doing this. Or, you know, you're not going to wear pink socks, so I'm not signing the contract. Or, I've got no idea why I give that example, by the way. What I'm saying is there's some terrible excuses there why big fights don't get made. And I do believe that some of the fights that Anthony Joshua has taken, Klitschko being one of them, Usyk rematch being another one, is that some people must be pulling out the hair when they've got a commercial interest in him, but he just wants to fight. In fact, he offers that further on in the press conference. That's something that he should be applauded for, and that's what I think is going to help him here in this fight with Dillian Whyte. The fact that he just wants to throw it down. Now again, the cerebral element, can he get into his sweet spot? Can he be in that performance area, the individual zone of optimised function more of the time? That's a question that will come down to cerebral training and how he reacts under pressure. I hope they've trained that. Okay, but the fact that he's got that dog within inside of him that just wants to fight as well, that's something that he probably doesn't get enough plaudits for. And also, let's be fair, it's something that's probably got him to the position that he is now. So again, when some people might want him to swerve certain fights because, hey, it's dangerous, it's a banana skin, Anthony Joshua is there on the button every single time.
See all the lies that's been going on, so I don't really waste my time with time wasters. It's only a fight. I just want to fight, get on with it. I'm going to be 34 this year, I'm moving on, so...
Happy birthday.
Respect, brother. Getting old now, you know what I mean? So just crack on while I'm here. I'm not really wasting my time waiting for people, chasing people. From the day when I started fighting, even from the amateurs, you can see the trajectory I've been on. Ready to get down, ready to put my neck on the line and fight whoever. And it's still like that. Dillian is a very credible, solid...
This is what I want you to focus on, the infamous rant after the Usyk rematch. Where he lost, where he went out. You know, he got some hate for this, and I don't understand why. Because what you've got is an elite level athlete putting all that effort in, all that pressure, all of that training, and he loses, and he's fucked off. What is the matter with somebody showing emotion? What is the matter with someone saying, I am pissed off? Why are people surprised by that? I couldn't even get my words out there. Like when you've got someone at that level annoyed so much that they have, you know, an outburst. If I was AJ's trainer, I'd be more thinking if he hadn't that, like, does he not care? Where is that passion? Where is the fact that he's bothered? The fact that he had that outburst for me should be embraced and leveraged because there's the beast. And when you hear what he says, and I don't know if AJ or his team have heard the words, I ain't a 12-round fighter.
I'm not a 12-round fighter. Look at me. I'm a new breed of heavyweights. All them heavyweights, Mike Tyson, Sonny Liston, Jack Dempsey. Oh, yeah, you don't throw combinations like Rocky Marciano. Because I ain't 14 stone, that's why. I'm 18 stone, I'm heavy. It's hard work. This guy here is...
I'm not 14 stone like Mike Tyson or Rocky Marciano, whatever they are. Brilliant. Accept the fact that you're not a 12-round fighter. AJ's a wrecking machine. He's a beast. He's powerful, at least for a certain time period. He says these words to him, like, lean into that. That's where you're in your sweet spot. That's where it's going to happen. By being the best version, like, not holding back. Not like, you know, and again, I know they've got the Wilder rematch, but what I'm saying is often from a performance perspective, where you optimise your performance is where you truly lean in to all the positive aspects that you've got. He is a beast. He's massive, powerful puncher for a certain period of time. That's how I think AJ gets rid of Dillian Whyte. By being what AJ is. If AJ could listen to his own words, be that beast, be that wrecking machine, I think he finishes Dillian Whyte easy if he leans into what he truly is, not what he tries to be. And again, there's loads of evidence that actually back that up, not just in boxing, but numerous verticals where if you lean into your strong skill set, you're the best version of you. You're more likely, there's a higher probability that you win. And we see some further confidence from AJ where he's talking about, and his hands do this. You know, so I'm out in Texas and I'm doing this and I've got nutrition and I've got the training. So the fact that the hands are going up is an indicator, because it's coming autonomously, that he generally believes his skill set, he's improving his boxing IQ, etc. So again, the body language, it's synchrony, it engages, it's congruent, it lines up with what he's saying. He genuinely believes that he's improving. Again, it goes against the grain of people saying he's losing confidence, he's not interested. No, I would say it's the absolute opposite. Yeah, I would say that's the belief that he's got. Saying it's right or wrong, but that's the belief that AJ has got, and the hands indicate this. Now, what we've got here is Dillian Whyte, okay, saying that he just wants to avenge his 2 losses. That's his goal. You've got to listen to the words that people are saying, because that's what they mean. AJ being one of them. He's not bothered about the world titles. He's not bothered about boxing anybody else. He knows where he is at the end of his career. All right? So again, he's prepared to throw it down. Now, what's interesting with Dillian Whyte, okay, what's really interesting with Dillian Whyte, is that when he says that's all I'm bothered about, he actually leans back from the microphone. Now, this is not something I would expect from Dillian Whyte, because a leaning back mechanism is you're trying to get away from what you're thinking about, talking about, or the threatful situation. Yeah, if someone comes up and challenges you, if you don't feel comfortable, you'll step back, you'll lean back. And also there's a behavioural cluster here. As he leans back, and again, this is so subtle, but this is what you get on the Believe in Bruce channel, I miss nothing, all right? You'll see him pull at his t-shirt like this. It's called redressing, reframing.
Middleweight kids, you know what I mean, and they feel kind of scared to come up to you and talk to you and stuff, so I just try and create a friendly environment, man.
And finally, no doubt in your mind, August 12th at the O2 Arena, you take care of business against this man.
That's the plan, man, that's the plan, you know, obviously, you know, I've had 3 losses, I've avenged 1, I want to avenge the other 2. You know, I avenge them 2, then I don't care about boxing after that. No, that's where I'm at.
AJ?
No, that's where I'm at.
AJ?
No, that's where I'm at.
AJ?
So there's a negative thought in his head when he's talking about fighting AJ. And then he leans back, yeah, and he readdresses his shirt. That's a negative behavioural cluster. There's some type of negative thought going on within Dillian Whyte's head at that particular moment when he's thinking about this rematch with AJ. And it's not just the leaning back, it's the leaning back and the reframing, the redressing of the t-shirt. That t-shirt didn't need pulled. He didn't need to lean back. People won't always tell you about what they're feeling, but their body will always show you. I'd be exploring that if I was AJ's team. And then we come to the final prediction. Eddie Hearn asks AJ. AJ's response is cool, calm, stoic. Matter of fact, there's no closing up of the arms, there's no scratching the face. Yeah, he absolutely believes that he's going to win. That's what you can take from the body language. Now, again, there's a big spectrum here, but I've had to say, does he look comfortable versus does he look, or is there some type of discomfort going on? Absolutely comfortable.
In your mind, victorious?
Yeah.
At the O2, it's been an incredible stomping ground for you, never beaten there, and a huge night for your career as well.
Massive night for my career. So yeah, victorious, 100%. That's my goal, that's my plan, and that's my motivation. So yeah, looking forward to it. Respect to the team. May the best man win.
And what does that indicate? All right, the fact that he's leaning back, looking at him. The fact that he's stoic. The fact that he's calm, he's composed. The fact that he's ready to fight now. All of these things add up. The fact that he's saying that he just wants to fight. I think people are making an assumption. He's had 2 losses to Usyk. Oh, he must be terrible. He's lost it. You know, he's lost his balls. No, absolutely not. At least not from this example. And what does that mean? I think we're in for a cracker of a fight. AJ confident in his ability to go out there and throw it down with Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte prepared to roll the last dice to try to avenge that defeat to AJ. This will be explosive, and I do believe it's AJ's fight to lose, not Dillian Whyte's fight to win. If AJ leans into what he is, he's not a 14-stone fighter, not a 12-round fighter, and goes out there and puts it on Dillian Whyte and destroys him with an explosive knockout, that's generally what I believe in this particular... Forget about the Wilder fight. In this fight here, that gives me the best option for how AJ could optimise performance against a Whyte who's prepared to throw everything down. It's going to be an absolute banger. Hope you've enjoyed the content. Remember, comment below, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Tell me what your thoughts and predictions are there, but most important, more than any of this, believe in Bruce. Remember to be kind to yourselves and each other. See you next time. The Think, Feel, Act Performance Enhancement Programme, helping to empower happier and higher performing teams to get more right first time by supporting people to be more in control of their thoughts and feelings.